Focus on you until you win. Hey, if you have ever felt like everyone around you is winning except you, like you are stuck in this weird in between where you are working, growing, healing, but still not there yet, then this video is for you because I am breaking down the book that shook me out of that spiral. Focus on you until you win. And no, it's not just about motivation, it's about how to get out of your way and finally become the version of you that stops shrinking, stops comparing, and starts showing up like a winter. This isn't a feel good TED talk, this is personal, raw, real. And if you are tired of playing small, keep watching because this might just be the wake up call you didn't know you needed. Lesson number one, you versus you is the only battle that matters. Okay, let's get into it. This one's gonna be a little personal, but I feel like someone out there needs to hear this today. So, lesson 1 in the book, Focus on You Until You Win, hit me like a truck. It says, you versus you is the only battle that matters. And at first, I was like, okay, that sounds deep, cool quote, or whatever. But when it started to sink in, for the longest time, I was out here fighting battles that weren't even mine. Scrolling through social media, comparing myself to random people on the internet, like, why is she already doing so well? Why don't I look like that? Why can't I stay consistent like them? Every day I was losing, not because they are winning, but because I kept measuring my worth by their timeline. But let me ask you something. What if the only person you are supposed to outdo is yesterday's you? Or what if she is the only one you were supposed to beat? Because when I started thinking like that, everything changed. I stopped competing. I stopped performing. I stopped showing up for Instagram stories and started showing up for me. I sat down one night and asked myself, who am I when no one's watching? Am I even proud of her? And the answer at the time was no. But it wasn't because I was doing enough. It was because I was doing everything for everyone else. That's when I made a decision. From now on, it's me versus me. Not that girl on TikTok, not my college friend who's already married with a house and a dog, not some influencer living a highlight reel. Me, just me. So I started small. Each morning I asked myself one thing: what can I do today that my past self would be proud of? And you all, sometimes the answer was simple: get out of bed, drink water instead of coffee, put your phone down and just breathe. See, we think growth is this big dramatic moment, but 99% of the time, it's invisible, quiet, unseen. It's saying no to that toxic person. It's choosing to go to the gym when you don't feel like it. It's trusting yourself even when no one else claps for you. And here's the part that no one talks about. When you stop looking left and right and start looking inward, that's when the real glow up begins. I started tracking my progress instead of their timelines. Like, did I stay consistent this week? Did I keep my word to myself? Did I show up even when it wasn't perfect? Because those are the wins that build your confidence. That's how self trust grows. That's how you finally feel like you are not losing anymore. So, yeah, you versus you isn't just a motivational line, it's a whole lifestyle. And when you live by it, you realize no one was ever really ahead of you. You are just distracted. Focus on the only battle that matters, the one between who you are and who you are becoming. Lesson number 2, cut out the noise. Let me tell you something that most people won't say out loud. Your success, your peace, your glow up. It's not being delayed by a lack of motivation, it's being buried under noise. Too much input, too many voices, too many people telling you how you should live, what you should do, what you should chase. I didn't realize how loud the world was until I finally decided to go quiet. And let me be honest, this part wasn't cute. It felt like a detox, like removing junk food after you have lived on fast food your whole life. I had to start muting people I followed for years, not because they were toxic, but because they were too loud. See, cutting out the noise doesn't always mean blocking haters. Sometimes it means muting good things so you can hear the right things. Because when you are constantly consuming motivational videos, podcasts, people's morning routines, more content, it starts to drown out the only voice that knows what you need, your own. I realized I was being productive for the algorithm, waking up early because TikTok told me to, reading books I didn't even like, trying routines that made me anxious, all because I was listening to everyone but myself. So I did something wild. I turned it all off. I took a weekend, no content, no noise, no notifications. And in that silence, I heard myself again. And she said, "We have been waiting on you." Let me say that again. For someone who is tired and doesn't know why, sometimes your burnout isn't because you are doing too much, it's because you are consuming too much. The book says it best. Focus requires discipline, and discipline means saying no. Not no to know everyone, but no to everything that doesn't move you forward. Even if it's inspiring, even if it's popular, even if it worked for her. My focus came back when I started filtering my inputs like I filter my circle. If it doesn't feed me, if it doesn't build me, if it doesn't serve the version of me I am becoming, it doesn't serve my attention. I remember sitting on my bed one night, completely overstimulated, like my mind wouldn't shut up. I had 3 podcasts saved, a YouTube video half watched, and 2 unread newsletters in my inbox. And I still felt behind. That's when it hit me. Information without integration is just noise. You don't need more advice, you need more stillness, you need more you. Because of your clarity, it doesn't scream, it whispers, and you can only hear it when everything else goes silent. So today I challenge you, turn down the volume of the world, mute the chaos, unfollow the pressure, and reconnect with your rhythm. Because, girl, when you cut out the noise, you make room for clarity. And once you have clarity, nothing can stop you. Cutting out the noise isn't a one time thing, it's a daily decision to choose peace over pressure, clarity over comparison, and purpose over popularity. Lesson number 3, build unshakable self trust. Okay, this one hit different. Build unshakable self trust, not confidence, not motivation, self trust. And to be honest with you, that's the only thing I didn't have for years. I didn't trust myself to follow through, to finish what I started, to keep my word to myself. I was the girl who would make promises at 2 a.m. and break them by 9. Wake up early, snooze. Start journaling, gave up after 2 days. Workout routine, girl, let's not even go there. And every time I broke a promise to myself, I chipped away at my trust. Think about this. If your friend lied to you over and over again, would you believe her? Would you rely on her? No, you'd stop trusting her. Now flip that around. That's how your inner you feels when you keep saying, "I'm gonna change," but never do. The book taught me something powerful. It said, don't outsource your confidence, build it by doing what you say you will do. That means self trust isn't built by watching another motivational reel, it's built by keeping tiny promises to yourself every single day. So I started small, like small. I told myself tomorrow you are gonna wake up 15 minutes earlier and drink a glass of water. And when I did, that wasn't just hydration, that was proof. Proof that I could trust myself again, proof that I could become her, the version of me who shows up even when no one's watching. I remember one morning I was exhausted, eyes burning, and all I wanted was to scroll and lie there. But then I heard this little voice in my head say, "Please don't break the promise again. I believed you this time." And I got up, not for the routine, not for the glow up, for the girl in me who's tired of being laid down. That's what self trust is. It's not loud, it's not pretty, it's not Instagrammable. It's that quiet moment when no one's cheering for you and you still keep going because you said you would. And here's what happens when you start stacking those tiny wins. You will stop second guessing, you will stop asking people, "Do you think I should?" Because now you trust your damn voice. You walk into rooms differently. You will start building momentum. You will stop needing external validation because you validate yourself. Let me say this with love. If you are waiting until you feel confident, you will wait forever. Start with trust, start with proof, start with one promise kept. And every day you keep your word to yourself, even if it's something tiny, you are laying a brick in the foundation of your unshakable self trust. And one day you will look back and realize you don't just believe in yourself, you depend on yourself. Because now you are the most reliable person you know. Lesson number 4, energy is everything. Okay, we have to talk about this one. Energy is everything. Like I have heard the phrase before, right? We all have. But the way this book breaks it down, it hit me. Because let's be honest, we have all been in seasons where we are doing everything right, but we still feel off. Tired, burned out, uninspired, just drained. I used to think I was lazy. I would beat myself up constantly like, why can't I stay consistent? Why do I lose motivation so fast? Why do I feel empty even when I am doing the work? But girl, it wasn't laziness, it was energy leaks. And the book put it plain and simple. If you don't have energy, you don't have focus. And if you don't have focus, you can't win. That line made me sit up because the truth is, we are protecting our time, we are protecting our money, but we are not protecting our energy. And energy is the one thing that determines how you show up in every part of your life. I remember this one week I was doing all the right things. I was waking up early, going to the gym, posting content, working on my goals. But I was also saying yes to people who drained me, replying to messages I didn't want to answer, holding space for drama that wasn't mine, scrolling until my brain felt like mush. And by the end of this week, I felt empty. That's when it clicked. It's not just about what you are doing, it's about where your energy is going. Because you can't build a powerful life with a powerless spirit. And see, some of us are trying to run on fumes, wondering why we are not getting anywhere. Let me ask you something. Who or what is draining you right now? And why are you still allowing it? Because, listen, your glow up needs fuel, and you can't shine while you are feeding people who dim your light. Energy is sacred, and from this point forward, we have to start treating it like currency. If it costs your peace, too expensive. If it leaves you exhausted, not worth it. If it doesn't pour back into you, cut it off. One thing I started doing, energy audits, like legit. At the end of the day, I would ask myself, what gave me energy today? What stole it? And what am I going to change tomorrow because of it? Sometimes it was people, sometimes it was my phone, sometimes it was the mental load of trying to be perfect. And little by little, I made changes. Tiny ones, but they added up. I stopped answering calls that left me feeling heavy. I started protecting my mornings like they are sacred. I stopped scrolling first thing and started centering myself first. I drank more water. I prioritized sleep like it was a business meeting. And guess what? I started getting my fire back, not from some new routine, not from a YouTube hack, but from protecting the energy that was already mine. You don't need more motivation. You need your energy back. You need your spirit back. You need to stop bleeding energy into places that don't deserve it. So, when the book said energy is everything, it wasn't just talking about workouts or hustle or doing more. It was talking about protecting your power. Because when you guard your energy like your life depends on it, you finally start building the life you deserve. Lesson number 5, stay in your lane until you own it. Alright. Can we talk about something that nobody likes to admit? These ones are little uncomfortable. Staying in your lane until you own it. When I first read this part of focus on you until you win, I had to close the book and sit with myself because I realized I have been swerving into her goals, swerving into his timeline, swerving into everyone else's version of success. And I kept wondering why I felt stuck, why was nothing clicking, why I wasn't moving. Turns out I wasn't stuck, I was just distracted. See, we live in a world that's constantly screaming, try this, do what she is doing, here's how to blow up overnight. And it's tempting, I won't lie. You see someone else winning, and you are like, maybe that's what I should be doing. But listen, every time you switch lanes, you lose momentum. You go back to zero, you start again, you rebuild from scratch. The book said something that slapped me in the face. You don't need more directions, you need more discipline in the one you already chose. That's when I realized I didn't need a new idea, I needed to lock in. Let me tell you something real. I started this YouTube channel with a purpose. I knew what I wanted to talk about. But then I saw other people going viral with totally different content, funny skits, fashion hauls, travel vlogs, and it made me doubt my lane. So I tried switching. And guess what? Views went down, my energy went down, my passion gone. Why? Because I left my lane to chase someone else's wave. That's when I had to humble myself, get back to the core, ask myself, why did you start? What lights you up even when no one's clapping? And from that moment forward, I decided I'm gonna stay in my lane until I own it. So, hear me when I say this, you don't need to go viral, you don't need to pivot every 2 weeks, you don't need to chase trends just to feel relevant. You need to double down, focus, refine, repeat, and own your space so deeply that eventually people will have no choice but to notice. Think about Beyonce. She didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna be a rapper today or maybe a food vlogger. No, she owned her lane, mastered it, and then expanded from there. So before you try to be everywhere, be excellent right where you are. It's not about being the loudest, it's about being the most consistent, the one who keeps showing up, keeps building, even when nobody's watching, even when it's boring, even when it feels like it's not working. Because guess what? The ones who win are the ones who stayed. Stay in your lane doesn't mean staying small. It means you are planting roots. So when the wind blows, and it will, you don't get knocked over because you are too grounded to fall. So keep waiting, keep writing, keep showing up, keep building what's yours. Because one day that lane, the one that feels quiet now, the one that's not flashy or trending, it's gonna be your highway. And no one will be able to drive it like you do. Because you didn't just borrow it, you built it brick by brick, day by day, until it was yours. Conclusion. Look, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present for yourself, for your growth, for your time, for your future. This book reminded me that focusing on you isn't selfish, it's survival. Because nobody is coming to save you, but you can. And when you finally stop chasing, stop comparing, and start building your lane, that's when you win. That's when everything changes. So, if this video hit you in the chest a little bit, if it made you sit up straighter or think twice about your own story, hit that like button, comment, I'm choosing me if you are ready to finally focus on you, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because this isn't just a video, this is a movement. And I'll see you in the next one.